All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. I've got a Barcelona fan, Muktesh, in the house. You guys been waiting for this. You've wanted to talk to a Barcelona fan. We've got him here. Now let's get to the nitty gritty, as Eunice would say.
Hello, thanks.
All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
I think I'll just cut off Muktesh there.
No, no,
That's
no,
right.
sure. No. I was just saying thanks a lot for inviting me. Very excited for this video, this conversation. Was looking up for it ever since you messaged me. I was like, oh, dude, I really want to talk to a Chelsea fan other than Baba, and really excited for this.
Brilliant. Let's get straight into this, man. I was just gonna say I played my intro and then I could see Muktesh just about to intro himself, but it is what it is. You know, we don't rehearsal over
Yeah,
here. We
yeah,
just play by
exactly.
the way it is. Muktesh, let's get in on it. Barcelona fan. First of all, we have to talk about Jules Kounde before we talk about economic levers. Muktesh, man, let him go, man. Just come on, man. Give you've got Rafinha, you've got them. Let this one go. Let us have this guy, man. Please.
Well, let us say for Barcelona, I think Kounde is more important than Rafinha for sure. One thing is for clear. Like if you look at the tactical aspect or the need of the team, like
You
Kounde is
guys need
something that
defenders,
Barcelona.
yeah? You guys need
We need
defenders.
defenders. We need defenders for sure. And Kounde is something like we need somebody with a Kounde profile who
Yeah.
can, when important, play on the right side. Majorly, right side of the defense is something which struggles a lot.
Yeah.
Historically has been pretty weak, and I think
Who
that
do
is
you guys
somewhere
have
we
at the
actually
moment?
lack.
At the moment, you have PK and Arojo on the right side, right?
At the moment we have got PK, Araujo, Christensen. Now, Araujo is someone who's usually played on the right side in
Yeah.
big games because he has got that track back ability and he's pretty good with the ball as well. But I think Kunde is someone who is pretty profound and very comfortable in that position.
Yeah.
So Araujo is not somebody who is actually neutrally or by nature who has to play on the right side. He's a major
Mhm.
center defender and is someone who is very good at tackling and all those things. His ball distribution is improving with time, but I think Kunde is like the perfect choice to be playing on
He's
that right
tailor
hand
made.
side.
He's tailor made for you guys,
Tailor
isn't
made,
he? Yeah.
exactly.
And the other thing about Kunde Muktesh is that I can see why you guys are interested. He's someone who's got. Everyone has been saying. Pundits have been saying. I've seen him play. Definitely have watched him play many times for Sevilla. He's a defender that has attributes of a midfielder. Like he can
Yeah,
drive into the midfield area and become a midfielder. His distribution, his driving ability, his passing ability. This is why you guys want him, yeah?
exactly. I mean, Barcelona actually needs defenders with elite ball playing ability.
Yeah.
Like we have seen in last season, ever since Gerard Piqué got injured, like Gerard Piqué is the best ball playing defender we have, even right now
Mm-mm.
on the squad. So we are looking for ball. We were looking for Koulibaly as well for pretty much the same reason that we know
I
that
think
he's much
I
more
think
of an
Koulibaly
all-round ball
wanted you
defender.
guys as well. Koulibaly
Yes,
wanted his Barca.
yes.
Everyone wants Barcelona.
Everyone wants Barca at this point. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But the point is that Barcelona is actually looking for options that can actually wait for Barca. Like we all
Yeah.
know that Rafinha waited for Barcelona, and I think the similar kind of things are happening with Kounde as well. I'll be
Yeah.
very honest. I personally, from very day one, like when I saw Rafinha and then Lewandowski getting prioritized above Kounde, I felt like that there might be a chance that Kounde gets slipped off our hands, which
Hmm.
seem to be happening right now. Like if you look up with the latest transfer updates and all those things,
It
Chelsea
looks
look
like
to be
We are ahead over
yes.
here. Yeah.
You
But
guys are a
you
bit
never
closer. So
know. You never
please
know
let
with
him
the.
go. So I should be the one telling you that please let him go. We need him.
I'm
But
scared about
if
your economic levers, man. I'm scared.
well, you should be. But I'll be. Let's say that if I take out the Barca fan in myself, and
Hmm.
if I just for a second touch upon Chelsea until now, and let's
Hmm.
say if Chelsea is able to grab onto Kunde, oh God, what a team you guys are gonna have!
For a
What?
RCB in a back three, Jules
Oh,
Kounde RCB, Thiago Silva in the middle, Koulibaly as a LCB.
Koulibaly in the left. Oh my
Oh my.
God! Like, can you
Mm.
imagine that right side? How scary is that gonna be? You have got Kunde, and just
Reece
ahead of
James.
Kunde, there is Reece James. Oh my
Oh,
God, bro! This is some next level sorcery, and this is impenetrable shit. So I'm like, this is some next level team. Defense is I think attack is still
And
something
Muktesh,
like
don't
Chelsea
forget
needs to
Chilwell
work
as
on.
well on the left. So Chilwell,
Chilwell.
Koulibaly, Silva, Kounde, Reece James. That five.
And then you're telling me to, let pass on Kounde. I think I should be begging Chelsea fans to come on, tell your team, man, tell your club. Barcelona needs Kounde, man. Barcelona needs Kounde. But yes, I think if Chelsea, I think Chelsea needs a defense strong team just to make up for the not so potentially good attack. If I should put that in that way,
Yeah, well
I
spotted.
think you,
Well
you
spotted.
really need a really good striking partnership. You haven't really found it for the past few seasons.
Yeah.
Lukaku hasn't been the guy you
Oh,
wanted him to be. My man is dancing on chairs in Inter Milan, so he's
bro,
very
what?
happy to be back there.
I can't believe he's doing that. He's dancing, he's singing. But you know what, Muktesh, you're right. I mean, our fundamentals under Thomas Tuchel seems to be built around defense. And yes, it's great to have a strong defense because what Thomas Tuchel said is we want to be hard to beat, which is fine. But our attack is not up there yet. Even with some of the preseason games that we're playing, still we're not finding that rhythm, that philosophy, that attacking ideology. Sterling is I think going to provide something different, some robust pace, some 1v1, fun, excitement, of course, but we are still lacking there. You guys, on the other hand, in your attack, oh my God, Rafinha, Dembele, Aubameyang, Lewandowski, Ferran Torres, Pedri, Gavi. I saw that assist that Rafinha did for
Inter
Fati. What's
Miami
his name? Ansu
against Inter
Fati.
Miami.
That was, oh my God. Just quickly on your attack. And actually, you know what, Muktesh? Let's now transition from Jules Kounde to these economic levers and why you guys are buying all these players. Can you explain to me what is going on? Because everyone's sort of thinking that Barcelona is a team that's financially struggling, they're in the mud, but then they're selling all of this stuff, triggering the economic levers, they're buying in all these superstars. Muktesh, what's going on, man? What's the idea? What's behind all this?
Okay, so I think the basic idea here is to use our assets to use them in terms of converting it for a success on the pitch. I think Barcelona is now taking it is a very big gamble, to be
It's a
very
risky
honest.
gamble, man. It's
It's
a
a risky
risky
gamble.
one.
It's a very risky gamble, and I think a lot of Barcelona fans have been criticizing this for that reason as well. But I feel like that is the only option for a club like Barcelona to be, on that competing spirit. I feel like Barcelona had no other option to just go ahead and with this financial levers. Now, in basic, if everybody wants to have a context of what all is happening, I'll say that Barcelona is using their TV rights and their studio rights, all these things. They've got BLM and they've got Barca Studios, like which is
All
merchandising and
these
all these
privatized
factors.
assets, all of their private assets,
Yes, which
basically.
which are actually their assets, and now they're selling them, or you can say they're using them as collateral, just
Yeah.
to raise a fund
To borrow money,
and
to raise
borrow
raise money.
money to
Yeah,
raise
yeah.
money. Now, obviously, these have a buyback clause. Some of these are actually for a limited time as well. That they'll be sold for a limited time, and then they'll come back to Barcelona. They'll have to pay something in return as well, for sure. But like
Okay,
the
can you
time period is
elaborate on that,
specified.
Muktesh? Like, is there like an interest component? Obviously, there has to be some interest component that you have to pay on top of that.
Yes. Yes. So Barcelona is deciding to sell the minority stake in, for example, if we deep dive into it, it probably take half an hour to 1 hour to explain
Yeah,
all the
fair
factors.
enough.
But
Yeah.
if I'll try to be as specific and as short as at the same time. So, like for example, Barcelona decided to sell Barca Studios, for example, which first of all, let it be very clear that merchandising like BLM and then Barca Studios, Barcelona has decided to sell a minority stake in both of them, so that they make sure that they hold on to the majority stake.
Yeah.
And now the minority stake would be sold, both of them would be sold in a different context. Like Barca Studios, one of them is going to be sold for 25 years, like with a I think what the project here is to make sure that you are collateralizing them for not more than 25 years, both of them. So like the merchandising and part is going to be collateral for 25 years, and the plan is to be to buy back them within that period of time. Even if Barcelona is not able to buy back that in 25 years, they'll be paying in certain installments and then getting it back after 25 years if they are able to do that at a certain pace, like paying off the amount which they'll be taking off it. Now, obviously, because usually we know in market in business world, whenever you sell something for a very high amount, like for example, if Barcelona is selling something for 400 million, so they will not be receiving that 400 million at the very same time. They'll be receiving that in terms of injections, like 200 million first, and then maybe after some time they'll be receiving 100 million. So this is why everybody's saying that they are
Is this the trigger,
activating
that economic trigger 1, economic
economic
lever
lever.
2,
Yes,
yeah, 3, and all that?
that they're going ahead with the sale of, like for example, if we are selling 25% of our Barca studios, for example, so we won't be selling that 49% in the one go. We'll be first going ahead with the sale of 25%, and then what percentage of that sale is Barcelona going to receive for its working? That would be the economic lever injection into Barcelona's transfer window. So Barcelona have activated the second lever today, I think, in today
I think
morning.
today is the
Today
second lever.
morning,
Yeah.
and they will possibly be looking forward to activating the third lever as well in the coming few days, which is, I think, Barcelona fans are like that. If you are sort of comfortable after the two levers, why go ahead and activate the third lever as well? But let us see. Frenkie De Jong saga, everything is going to dictate a lot for us. But I think if you'll ask me, like I'll just wrap it, say this part that if you'll ask me that why Barcelona is taking such big of a risk, selling their collaterals and everything, assets as well, I say Barcelona had to choose between either giving themselves 5 to 10 years for rebuilding, or they could have just arranged for a filthy amount of cash like they are doing by selling their assets, and then use it for success on the pitch. Like for example, if we are somehow able to be at least second on the league and reach till quarterfinals or semifinals of the Champions League, then all the amount which is actually would be due for us or for that year, like to pay in terms of for these economic levers, we would be able to bring that back in terms of profit. So we'll be in profit if somehow we are able to be successful on the pitch. We'll be easily able to pay off these levers and all these money that we are sort of borrowing. So if we are successful on the pitch, we'll be able to easily pay that off. If we win the league, that would be very good for us. Like La Liga pays a filthy amount to the league winners. They even pay a good amount to the second, the ones who come second as well. So I think Barcelona is kind of taking a very big bet on these players, bringing them home, and now I think they'll be hoping that they are able to win at least one of them. One of trophies is actually need for Barca.
I think this is what it is, isn't it, Muktesh? That instead of waiting 10, 15 years, rebuilding, and who knows, maybe Barca becomes a mid-table team by doing that, because you can't compete with Real Madrid. You probably can't even compete with Atletico Madrid. And then you get into even deeper financial issue because right now, the money, and I guess let's talk a little bit about this financial issue before we move into the other sort of areas about Marcos Alonso and Azpi and whatnot, because those are a couple of players that we linked with as well. Muktesh, why I suppose is Barca doing all of these economic levers, selling these assets, not just because, as you said, to make sure, ensure that they still keep winning and compete in La Liga, get the money and compete in Europe and get the money there, which will help them. But what seems to is there an issue with your transfer budget? Is there an issue with your wage budget at the moment that you need to do all of this just to balance things out? I mean, if you didn't do the economic levers, would you be able to keep the players that you already have? Obviously you want to get rid of Frenkie De Jong. Ousmane Dembele only just recently re-signed. Let's just say, Muktesh, you didn't do the economic levers. Are you able to get in Rafinha? Are you able to keep Dembele? Are you able to even pay some of your... Apparently, Frenkie De Jong, you owe him like 17 million euros or something like that. So
Yeah.
what is the core issue underneath that's happening before the economic levers?
The problem is that with Barcelona was that before the pandemic, Barcelona was like, this is the part I think most of the people will get clear about all these financial issues that Barcelona is facing.
Yes.
Before the pandemic, Barcelona was the highest earning football team in the world.
In the world, yes.
In the world.
Along with,
It
I
was
think,
the
Man
number one.
United, maybe. Along with
With
Man United, maybe Real
Man
Madrid.
United was number third, I think. It was Barcelona, Real, and Manchester United. These
Correct.
three were in the top three for sure.
Yeah.
And the problem was that in La Liga, your wage, the issue with Barcelona is their salary cap in La Liga,
Yeah.
which was the basic reason for which we had to let go Messi as well. So the problem in La Liga is that your wage budget, your salary cap, is decided on the basis of your revenue. So, for example, if Barcelona before pandemic they were earning 100 million, so their wage bill would be around 75. Like this is example, obviously.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
in terms of they're in billions, they're earning in billions and all those things.
Mm.
So if their earnings were before pandemic 100 million, so
Mm.
they were paying, they had a wage bill of 75 million. So they could have players or the complete staff and everything, and they could give them a salary up till 75 million.
Right.
So
So
Barcelona,
75% of their revenue was wages, basically.
well, though actually it is much more cut short, it is of net revenue.
Net
Like
revenue.
when
Okay,
you
okay,
cut off
okay.
to the
Yeah,
net
yeah.
revenue and then
Yeah.
of 75% of that, something like that.
Yep, yep,
So
yep. Of the
Barcelona
net
can actually
profit,
70,
basically.
75 of the net
Yeah.
profit basically Barcelona
Yeah.
can give to, in terms of salary to its
Yep.
employees and players and everyone.
Yep.
Now the problem with the previous board was that because Barcelona was earning so much and we had such a big wage bill, like we had such a big wage cap of millions,
Huge wage
huge,
bill.
seven,
Huge.
600, 700 million,
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
huge. So Barcelona, what Bartomeu and board, what they did was that they over exploited this to offer filthy contracts to our salaries.
Griezmann, 800,000 euros per week. Coutinho,
Exactly.
Lionel Messi, over a million. Like a ridiculous amount of price.
Ridiculous amount of money. And what happened was that when pandemic struck us, our revenue dropped because we were earning
Yeah,
the most before
yeah,
pandemic. The
yeah,
pandemic hit us the most hard,
yeah.
and our revenue took the
Your
biggest loss in
net
football as
revenue
well.
went down. Your net
Net
revenue went
revenue
down.
took the biggest hit as well. Now,
Yeah.
what happened was because our revenue came down to, for example, let's say 30 million.
30 million.
So now
Yeah,
our wage bill gets reduced to about 34, 35 million,
yeah.
like at max.
Yeah.
But we are still paying 75 million to our players and all these
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
So to pay those wages off, to pay those expenses off, Barcelona were taking loans and they were doing signings still to make sure that maybe they are able to win something. And because of all this continued for 2-3 seasons, and Barcelona fell off into a very huge debt. Obviously,
Yeah.
that every club right now has got a certain debt on themselves
Yeah.
for some or the other reason. Like no club is actually kind of like, for example, if I talk about Chelsea itself, they were
We had
having a debt.
1.5 billion in debt with
Roman
Abramovich. Yeah.
Abramovich, yes. So every club is sort of dealing with some type of debt, but usually these debts are required for usual running of the club, and in general, every business has got some debt on
Yes.
itself.
Yes.
But
Yes.
Barcelona, on the other hand, they were running on debt itself. Like the
Yeah.
moment you take off the debt, Barcelona will probably they were going in losses as well. But the moment you
Yeah.
take off the debt, they won't be able to pay off salaries to their players. So with time, we fell off into a debt of 1.5 million, and then we took debt over that as well. So Barcelona
Oof.
has been in a pretty bad condition for past 2 seasons. So now, if everybody's clear that why Barcelona needed such a
These
big cash
economic
injection,
levers. Yeah. Yeah.
levers.
Yeah. Yeah.
First of all, we had to convince our players. See, letting Messi go was kind of a need at that moment. I know a lot of Barca fans are still salty about our board for letting Messi go. Now, obviously, I was one of them previously, like before Barcelona took such a hard turn and we were going for it. We were going for the rebuild. But what I feel like is that Barcelona then convinced the players for taking a lower salary so that in order to bring a salary cap up, we had to bring in cash, we had to bring in income.
Yeah.
Now, income can be generated too. Obviously, if you sell your assets as well, you will receive that in terms of capital gains and all these factors. You will receive that money as well. So you get a little bit relaxed in terms of your wage bill. That is what Barcelona is now exercising. Their wage bill is much more flexible now, and now they can sign more players. They're using that cash to sign more players, flexible wage bill, and at the same time, rebuilding Barcelona Stadium, which is going to be started in a few years. So I mean, Barcelona is on the right track now, but still we had to see. As we said, it is a very big gamble.
It is, and let's quickly just talk about the gamble before we touch on some other factors. Muktesh, if you, I think you guys are setting up to win the La Liga. I think you're really gambling to win this. I mean, and also go very deep in the Champions League. You have to. You're spending so much. You're gonna have to get the money in return so that you can slowly start paying off some of these money that you're raising through your economic levers. Muktesh, if it doesn't happen, I mean, if by chance Barca comes like third or fourth, because Atletico Madrid is a very decent team, man. And Real Madrid, Camavinga, Tchouameni, Benzema still bossing, Vinicius Jr., they just got Rudiger. Like, it's a. Are you worried somewhat? Little bit worried.
Obviously, I think that's a very worrying part. Like that is, Bayern said that a club like Barcelona, like they were
Won't
taking a shot on
exist
us, that
in 2 years'
wouldn't
time.
exist in 2 to 3 years time.
Yeah.
That would, I know Barcelona fans hate to listen to this. I myself, I was like fuming when I read this at the first time. But if things don't go as planned for Barcelona, we wouldn't. It is not like we wouldn't technically exist, but we would fell off drastically, man. Like
Yeah.
maybe to the point that from where we can't come back, and that is actually horrifying. That
Wow.
is horrifying. Like I know Barcelona is taking a very, very big gamble with what all we are doing. I know Barcelona fans, they're like, keep the positive in. We are going to be, see. I think the idea is executable.
Mm-hmm.
Barcelona is making a squad which is of quality to win the league, to go down till the semifinals into the Champions
Yeah.
League, probably win it. The idea is executable. We have got a very good coach as well. I have full trust in Xavi. But as a neutral, if you take up for a neutral perspective or an outer perspective, you need to consider all the factors for any type of a business deal or any type of a economic lever activation in that sense. Now,
Mm-hmm.
everybody's saying that if this works out, every club in Europe might actually want to do something like this, to collateral their assets for some time,
Yeah,
raise
yeah,
some
yeah.
money, build a good squad, go
Yeah.
win some leagues and titles, and then pay off these things. So that is a very big idea. That's a very positive idea. But the every good idea actually has got a kickback in itself. The saying, you risk hai to isk hai. If
Exactly.
you
Yeah, yeah,
understand that,
yeah.
risk hai to isk hai. Now, to all our English viewers, that means that if you're taking a very big risk, that is when you'll get the ishq to वैसे means
Love. A
love,
lot of love.
love.
Yeah.
But sort of when you take a very big risk, that is when you get the biggest
A
reward.
lot of reward. A lot of reward. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is when I think that is what Barcelona is currently running on.
No, fair enough, man. That's very interesting to know the inside details. Banter aside, I mean, honestly, I've recently hated the battle that we've had in this transfer window. Rafinha, honestly, Muktesh, I thought Rafinha was our player. I really did. And then right at the end, Gerard Romero, something special is happening, man. That guy annoys me, man. That Gerard Romero.
And I
Um,
love him. Barca fans love him.
Hey, honestly, Gerard Romero, like, what is he? He seems to know so much inside details. Is he someone heavily connected with the Barcelona hierarchies?
Board.
Do they
Yeah,
pass
yeah.
on messages to him?
He has got very good connection in the Barcelona board, and especially this board as well, like Bartim and all these things. He has got some very big factors. Like he told us, Lewandowski to Barcelona is 100% confirmed, like 2 to 3 months ago. 2 to 3
Rafinha
months
as
ago,
well. He said Rafinha is
exactly.
a Barcelona
He
player.
said Rafinha is a Barcelona player, and even when we were reading all these news about Chelsea closing down on Rafinha, all these things are settled. He was like, no, he is a Barcelona player, and I was like, dude, this guy's crazy. But what a positive guy, man! I think he deserves all this, views and all these attention that now he's getting. He has been working out for so long. Like
Yeah.
we remember reading Barcelona reports about Gerard Romero in the previous ages, like about before Messi and as well. But I think recently is that he has got all this attention, and he's a great guy, man.
Man,
Great guy.
he's entertaining. He's
He's
absolutely owning
entertaining.
the, the internet, I suppose, in terms of football Twitter, he's owning it. He's absolutely
Yeah,
owning it.
for sure.
Muktesh, we have to talk about Azpilicueta and Alonso. Look, Azpilicueta is a club legend for us. He's won it all. I mean, look, Alonso's won a lot as well. I don't know whether if anyone would say he's a club legend. For me, I don't know if he's a club legend, to be honest. But still, Alonso is a very good player from the left side, left wing back. There are flaws, yes, of course. Azpilicueta is someone who's aging. I want to understand from Barcelona point of view, because as much as I would love you guys to take him, but I still want to understand, why are you guys looking for Azpilicueta and Alonso? Like, for me, it's so different to the Barcelona kind of players that your DNA kind of has. I mean, why Azpilicueta and Marcos Alonso?
I think Azpilicueta, like his Spanish, being Spanish is something. He's a great player. Obviously, as well.
Of
He's a
course,
very
of course.
great player,
Yeah.
and being Spanish really makes him comfortably sitting into the Barcelona system as well. Like Azpilicueta in particular, I think Xavi will make a great player out of him for Barcelona's context. He's
Leader
already a
as
great
well,
player,
leader,
leader as well.
experience. Yeah.
Now, why I think that we are going for Azpilicueta, I'm right now particularly going to talk about Azpilicueta. I'll come
Yeah.
to Marcos Alonso because let's say I'll completely wrap up Marcos Alonso in very quickly. I think he's just an option for Barcelona, like one of
Right.
the cheaper options for Barcelona to play
Yeah.
as a backup. We have
As a
struggled a
backup.
lot
Yeah,
as a
yeah, yeah.
backup or an alternative
Because
option.
Jordi Alba will still be your left back.
Jordi Alba will still be our main
Yeah.
left back
Yeah.
for sure. He's like kind of a very instrumental player for Barcelona system.
Yeah.
So Marcos Alonso would be like in terms of option, he's a very cheap and a reliable one.
And an
Like if
effective one as well. He can score
effective one.
goals. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. So if you're taking off Jordi Alba, you're putting in Marcos Alonso. That is obviously add-ons in some aspect as well. If he's coming off the bench,
Yeah.
you might not want him to play all the matches, like or
Correct.
complete matches 90 minutes. But for sure, I think he's a great option coming off the bench, or even
Yeah.
alternatively, like depending on the opposition team. Aspilicueta, on the other hand, I think Barcelona has got their complete trust in Dest, but Dest is very young. He needs a lot of mentorship before he can take up that role of being the best, or being one of the best right backs in world football, or even for Barcelona. And I feel like just to make sure that he's growing as a player, they need someone like Aspilicueta to lead him into it. Like Aspilicueta will, I think Barcelona I've read a couple of reports saying that Aspilicueta for Barcelona is somebody who can make Dest the next big thing for Barca. Like we
Yeah,
obviously saw
mentor
Dest
him,
being
guide him in that right
guide him
back
into it.
position. Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
exactly. We saw Dani Alves coming into the picture last season. Very
Yeah,
important.
yeah.
So he kind of did try to do the similar thing. He was playing for us as well. I think Aspilicueta, if he comes, he would be majority games he would be starting for us. But I feel like watching him and then learning from him will really give Dest an upper hand. Though I know that Dest has been listed on the transfer market for
Yeah,
Barcelona few
yeah.
weeks back, but
We,
now I
we've been
kind of
linked with him. We've been linked with him.
you have been linked with him, but now those reports seem to be settling down, especially after the few, like for example, the preseason game and all these training sessions. Xavi comes some sort of is really trusting in him, and I feel like he should. He's a great player, man. He's a great player.
I rate
He's
him,
got
man.
great potential.
He's got great potential. Attacking wise, he's got that know-how. He really charges like the intensity when he runs forward, progressive runs, crossing is good. I think defensively is where his weakness is. He can tighten up in defense. But 100%, he's 21, Muktesh. Like he's young, so there's a lot of
I'm 21, man. He's 21 and playing for Barcelona. Can you imagine? I get jealous a lot, bro.
But he doesn't have a YouTube channel like yours. Remember,
He doesn't
all
have
right?
it. Yeah, that's I'm better than you.
Muktesh, before we wrap things up, we have to talk about Frenkie De Jong. It's a player we are now getting interested. I don't know all of a sudden where this Chelsea interest is coming from. Obviously, Todd Bowley had the meeting with your hierarchies recently, and apparently, the Laporte and whoever else had said that we are kind of inviting you to put an interest for Frenkie De Jong. You guys, oh man, this whole Frenkie De Jong story, it seems a bit. Frenkie De Jong has kind of in social media indirectly said, I'm not liking what they've done to me. They want me to be gone. Man United has been after this guy, but it seems like, you can shed a bit of light, but it seems like he does not want Man United. He really does not want them. It's like he's getting forced to that particular club. I feel if we do show proper interest, he may come to us. But I feel like he doesn't want to leave Barcelona. I mean, what's going on, Muktesh, with this Frenkie De Jong situation? I mean, is he leaving? I mean, what's
Very
going on?
tiring. Very tiring. I mean, first of all, this saga has been very tiring, even for a Barcelona fan. Like you wake up next day and you see him being close to Manchester United, then you wake up the next day and then he's staying at Barcelona. So this cycle is sort of continuing, and then in between you see clubs like Chelsea, PSG sort of coming in. I'll be very honest. I love Frenkie De Jong. I hope he goes to Chelsea. Though I know that Chelsea will have to make a few adjustments in their team if they want to
Yeah.
fit in Frenkie De Jong.
He's a
They
super
do.
player, man. He's a
He's a
super
super
player.
player, bro. He has not even hit his potential. He has not even been of the best level that he was at Ajax. At Barcelona, he was not played in the certain roles like which he prefers until the towards the end of his tenure, like last season.
Yeah.
And I feel like that we are going to let him go even before we can truly utilize him. Now the
Yeah.
problem
Yeah.
is that he doesn't want to go to Manchester United because obviously, as a career-wise, it is going to be a downgrade
It's a
right now.
downgrade. It's a
It is
backward
a
step.
downgrade.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
going not just to a Europa team, but at the very same time a team which is under a rebuilding process, and you don't
Yeah.
know that Eric Ten Hag is doing some great stuff right here. Like you watch their matches, they're tactically very solid now, positioning defensively. Every player seems to know what to do now, but still that doesn't guarantee you anything in EPL.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
nothing. Bringing Haaland home doesn't guarantee you EPL. And I'm talking about Manchester City right here. Like Manchester City is the benchmark in European football at this point. So
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't guarantee you anything in EPL. So for sure, I mean Manchester United, they're trying their best to come back. But I feel like Frenkie De Jong knows that career-wise, this is a step back. So that is one reason why he doesn't want to go to Manchester United. Second reason is that, as you said in the beginning, or somewhere in the middle, that we do owe him 17 million. Now that is not a very small
Yeah.
amount.
Yeah. That's a
That is
large
seven.
amount. Yeah.
That's a lot. The 17 million is obviously a lot, and he just proposed his girlfriend. They're going to get married
You're
and
right.
sort of
He's
settle
probably
down
looking
his
for a
life.
big wedding. He needs some money.
Yeah, he needs some money. He need for sure,
Uh,
man. He would be planning a world tour and things like that, getting started with the family. So I feel like I sort of do feel for Frankie De Jong as well. I feel every Barca fan has got a soft corner for him, like the way he came to us and the way he gave all those interviews that this is my dream club, and he has been meaning them so far.
it has been a dream club for him. He wanted
Yeah,
Barcelona, man. It must be
he
such a
won.
sad thing for him that he's getting pushed out like that.
Yeah, it is a very sad thing, and even as fans to watch this happen. But if you look at from Barcelona context as well, he is the one with the highest wages on our wage bill
Yeah.
currently. He is
Yeah.
the one with the most market value on our squad currently. A part of, if you put away Pedri and Gavi, for sure they're not for sale. But we used to
Mm-hmm.
feel the same for Frankie De Jong at a certain point, and the point is that okay, I'll just put it slightly in that if you guys want to know in detail about all these economic things which I explained and why Barcelona is specifically selling Frenkie de Jong, you can go to my Twitter link, and I've actually shared someone else's. I don't remember exactly the name, but they had a complete Twitter. What do we say that?
Thread.
Thread. They've got a complete Twitter thread explaining why Barcelona is going ahead with the sales and all these things, and why they are doing this BLM and all these things, and their losses for the previous years as well. So, if you want complete details to that, even Miz, I'll recommend you to do go. Make sure you go and read that. That is
Yeah, yeah, of
beautifully
course.
placed in, and I think you'll understand by selling Frankie De Jong specifically because he's the highest market value player on our team is actually a priority for Barcelona if they want to, trigger the least of the economic levers. So,
It's
I
all
mean,
part of these economic levers to let him
yeah,
go. Yeah, yeah,
to
yeah.
let him go. Like, in short, at the end, Barcelona needs funds to bring in more players. Like,
Yep.
if you let go one Frankie De Jong, you can actually settle two players in his wage bill, that the wage bill which is going to be emptied along
And
with
you
him.
know what, Muktesh? I heard a lot of the players that have, like Lewandowski, he's taking a big pay cut to come to
Big
Barcelona.
pay cut.
Dembele, 40% wage reduction to re-sign. Rafinha is also on a lower wage than Leeds. Like,
What Chelsea was offering him, even for what Chelsea was offering him. I think this is where Kounde comes a bit strong in Chelsea's aspect as well. Like
mm,
Chelsea is offering him out 12 to 13 million, and Barcelona
yeah.
is willing to offer him out 6 to 7 million at max. Like 6 million at max is what Barcelona is currently offering him. So I feel like that is why we are going to slip up on Kounde as well. I think at the end, Frenkie de Jong will end up leaving Barcelona. He's kind of waiting for his 17 million to get paid off.
Where
Seems
do you
legit
think
to
he's
me.
going? Where do you think he's going?
If you would ask me where I want him to go, I actually want him to go to a Champions League club, much more settled club. I was actually hoping that Manchester City would show interest in him, but they went in for Calvin Phillips.
Yeah.
And I think that was the very point after which I was like, no, now they're not going to sign Frenkie de Jong. I was like, Frenkie de Jong and Bernardo could have been a swap because Bernardo would have taken a pay cut to come to Barcelona.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
the Manchester City were like, no, we are not looking for somebody of a profile of Frenkie de Jong. We kind of have a very midfield heavy team as well. So seems fair enough. I hope he goes to Chelsea. No disrespect to Manchester United, but if you look at all the tactics and which team needs him, if Manchester United are able to bring in Frankie De Jong, I am pretty sure they're going to finish in top four. Like I am pretty sure they're going
They're
to
going to
finish
have
in
a
top
proper
four.
ball playing midfielder. Like, that's what they
They
lack.
Eric Ten Hag's system needs some player like Frenkie De Jong.
Yeah,
I feel
yeah,
like Chelsea and Spurs are going to be the teams. I think Chelsea, Spurs, and Manchester United. These three are going to be the teams competing for the top four, apart
yeah.
of Manchester City and Liverpool.
Mm.
And I feel like if Kounde goes to Chelsea, and if Manchester United is somehow able to bring in Frenkie De Jong, things are gonna be very tough, very
Premier
close,
League
man.
is gonna be
Very Premier
crazy.
League is lit. Premier League is gonna be lit. But I mean, I don't mean disrespect to Chelsea fans, but if
Mm.
you're not able to bring in Kounde or a defender of that quality,
Mm.
I feel like you guys are gonna be a bit behind in the race of being a strong team for the
Man,
title
we need
chase.
an attacker as well, man. We need,
Yeah,
yeah,
attacker as well.
definitely without Jules Kounde, that's another experienced player in defense that we're missing out. I, I, I would be so hurt. I would be so hurt if Jules Kounde ends up being at Barcelona now. Honestly, I'll be so hurt because honestly, Muktesh, Jules Kounde is a player that wanted to be a Chelsea player for a long time. He's actually wanted to be a Chelsea last season, in fact.
Five
For
million
some
last season, you
reason,
missed out on for 5 million. I read
yeah.
somewhere that last.
Do you know what happened, Muktesh? We had a verbal agreement with Sevilla, okay? And by the time I think we sold Zuma, Sevilla changed their mind. Oh, you've got some Mula now. Now we change. Now we change our conversation. We want the full 65 million euros or whatever the case is. And then Marina at that time, obviously she's not around at our football. She was like, no, no. We agreed at 50 or 55 million euros or something like that. We're not going to that full level. Ultimately, what has happened a year later, we're now going to that full level like what Sevilla has wanted anyway. So, and the issue now is we've invited Barcelona into the conversation when we could have had this player without any hassle and got this thing done. But also somewhere in between the lines, I think Thomas Tuchel probably didn't want Jules Kounde. He was looking at De Ligt. He was looking at Kimpembe. I still think Muktesh, he's not fully convinced with Jules Kounde. I think he really wants Kimpembe. That's his choice. But he's going after Jules Kounde because we are so advanced in the conversation. I personally think Jules Kounde is exactly what we need. Exactly what we need on that right side. But we'll see what happens. Muktesh, it's been a pleasure talking to you, my man. Honestly, it's been a great pleasure. To everyone that wants to know some parts about Barcelona football and wants to get some Barcelona content, please subscribe to Muktesh's channel. The link is in the description right now. Make sure you follow. As you can see, lovely human being, lovely person, and we're gonna have Muktesh on the channel much more because I want to see Barcelona in the Champions League with us.
Oh
I want to make
yeah,
sure we
for
have some
sure.
rivalry going on. Muktesh, before we go, any last few words you want to say?
Yeah, I'd like to say thanks a lot. It has been great. Like I just looked up to the timer and like I had no idea when the
It's
37
flown
minutes
by.
passed off. And it has flown by for sure. What a conversation we had, man. And I'd say that Chelsea fans, I hope like banter goes on. And I've been telling this to people on my channel as well. But I hope that people are not toxic to each other just because
Yes,
of some transfer
yes.
battle going on between our clubs. Like I have a very big respect for Chelsea as a club and Chelsea fans as well, because I have been very close to. Even I have got very close friends that support Real Madrid. So, like, for me to see such toxic battles online, people
Yeah.
abusing each other just for the sake that your clubs are in a sort of transfer rivalry right now, or they
It's
had a previous.
football.
It is
It's
football,
just football,
exactly.
man. Yeah.
Exactly, man. You should actually enjoy it. But I, it has been a pleasure. I hope you invite me soon.
Appreciate it.
I hope you'll
Of
be able to
course.
come to my channel
Of
soon as well.
course.
And it has been a delight to be here. And all the best to Chelsea fans. I hope you
Thank
guys
you.
are able to compete for that title next year. I know Chelsea is being
Come on.
sidelined in the conversation of,
Yeah.
if possible EPL champions. Though I myself am a EPL in terms of EPL, though I myself support Manchester City in that context
Oh, come
because of
on.
Pep Guardiola. But I wouldn't mind if Chelsea is able to surprise everybody. I wouldn't mind that.
No, 100%. No, but you know what? It's a good message we're ending with. I've done recently some Barcelona videos, obviously with all the transfers, and honestly, some Barcelona fans have absolutely insulted the daylights out of me. I take it as a joking manner, but I think Muktesh is right. Let's keep away the toxicity and it's just enjoy the content, man. Enjoy the content.
Yeah.
Everyone, take care. I'll see you guys very soon. See ya.